right. Here we are. What's going on with my hair, huh? How's everybody doing? Yeah, Nashcraft Firearms. Just got off work and the 1911 guys playing a space sim. That's right. Next time, my next gaming stream I'm going to do Ready or Not. Which we might do tonight. I'm not going to lie. That might happen. I don't plan on going super late tonight, but yeah, this simulator is really cool, man. It's really cool. If you're into like, which I don't know any guys who are like, no, I don't like spaceships. That's weird. If a guy said that, and particularly the early program, you know, from like the 60s and 70s, it's so cool. So, what I've got going on first. Yeah, Charles, man, you read my mind with that earlier. I got the Kuhnhausen manual right there over my shoulder. That's the place to look. All right, and of course, watch check of. I mean, if we're playing a space simulator and I don't wear the bull of a lunar pilot, you guys should just unfollow me. So yeah. Oh, Nashcraft, listen, man. I think I'm like 4 or 5 DayZ streams deep. I'm a DayZ OG guy. Back when it was a mod on Arma, like way back when it wasn't even official. I've been playing DayZ forever, dude. Big fan. So I'll do that next stream too. I love DayZ. That's a fun one. Well, so listen, why don't we just get right into it? So this first mission, and by the way, you know, how does the audio sound with me against the background audio? Is everything pretty balanced? So let's just go to the cockpit here. So right now we are in the Mercury ship right now. Oh, you can see that it's going to get right to it. The docks are clearing away. So we're in the Mercury program, and basically what this is we I'll turn the background down just a little bit, but I want you guys to hear this audio in the game because it's super cool. So basically what we're going to do is we're actually flying a real historical mission. This is the first time somebody went up in the capsule and like flew around a little bit, and this is Alan Shepard's flight. Now what you're going to hear, you're actually going to hear the real mission audio as we fly this mission. It's beyond cool. So so we got 13 minutes. Yes, it is cramped. I mean, like you can see, it's a one-man ship. Not a lot going on in here. So I've got 13 minutes before liftoff. Now, just keep in mind, you know, we're going to fast forward a lot through this mission because we're not going to do like 45-minute orbits and all that. But this mission in real life only took about 15 to 17 minutes, if I remember correctly. So this is a very fast mission. And so, without further ado, I've got to run some checklists here and get us on full internal power. Now, the Mercury craft that we're in now is way simpler compared to the other stuff, which we're gonna do a Gemini mission next. The Geminis are wild. There's a big leap forward with Gemini. So alright, so we're gonna check our battery. Got several batteries on the unit. Okay. So, you know, when you really look at this spacecraft, it's pretty simple. Now, it's very... it's not like flying an airplane. I understand why they have pilots fly these things, but it's not like an airplane at all because you have some things that are familiar. You know, you've got your roll, your pitch, and your yaw, so you kind of understand what's going on. But, you know, it's not like flying a plane. You know, you give input, and it doesn't behave like a plane at all when you're in space. You guys will see. So we're just running through some stuff here. We're arming the squibs. We're telling launch control that we're ready to take off, that we're good. So really, with these early spaceflight programs, especially this one, really the astronaut's job was not to fly. It was to run checklists, monitor, and kind of just go along for the ride because this whole flight is pretty much automated. Now we have some manual controls on the left. You know, these guys here, you can pull these out and it will give you command of the aircraft. You've got some automated stuff. You can tell the aircraft to do certain things. Over here, you've got sort of your gauges. You know, you got your mission timer right there, which is super important. You got your cabin pressure. You got your cabin temp. You got to monitor O2. You got your cabin O2, suit environment. In this game, this simulator really does respond. Where if your guy gets too hot, it starts to affect you. If you get too cold, it starts to affect you. So you've got some environment controls. Get that out of the way. Right there. And then you also have a full-blown freaking breaker panel on your left. And all of these in the simulator actually do something. So it is very, very cool. Fearless Journey. I am a pilot, and yes, it is different. Yeah, man, it's totally different. You know, I'm not a pilot at all. I'm a complete fraud. I grew up playing Flight Simulator, and I'm just an enthusiast. And so when this game came out, I jumped on it with both feet because I'm also a massive space travel fan. So, and this is like as good as it gets. If you really want to get the space travel experience, man, this is it. All right, so we are getting close. Let me run the final checklist. We're ready. Let's do a radio check. 5x5. Got our zero cover removed. Going to battery 1. All right, I think we're ready. So here in about 60 seconds, you're going to hear real mission audio start. And for those of you who appreciate space travel in this history, it's going to be a goosebump fest, I'm telling you. It is very inspiring. Yeah, Fearless Journey, there are 9 lessons to learn how to fly this spacecraft, and they're all about 45 minutes to an hour and a half long. The Gemini, it took me 2 weeks to go through the training to learn how to fly the Gemini spacecraft, and I still haven't even gotten into advanced course correction. I haven't gotten into docking with you know, the other aircraft. I haven't gotten into any of that. So it's really complicated stuff, man. I mean, it's fun, but it's complicated. So our retrograde is at 4 minutes and 44 seconds. So here we go.
Observe rest period. Roger, resting. Cameras and tape running. Affirmative. Roger, perform light work task. Roger, light work.
You guys hear their chatter okay?
Okay. Roger, perform heavy work task. Heavy work test. Okay. Roger, sufficient. Thank you.
Awesome.
CO, control fuel.
Station.
Automatic fuel is 95, manual is 96, cameras and tape recorders are running.
Yeah, so we have our automatic
Cabin
fuel
pressure.
and our manual fuel.
15.2.
Measuring.
Air temperature.
94.
Listen to Shepard. He's such a legend.
Oxygen.
100% plus.
Read out your DC volts.
Main is 24. Number 1 is 25. 2 is 25. 3 is 25. Standby 26. Isolated 29. Back to main. The current is 29 amps.
Roger, suit and cabin temperature, full CCW.
All right, so
Roger, full. Counterclockwise.
we're cranking our cabin.
ASCS
down all the
and
way.
fans.
ASCS is 118. Fans is 115.
Minus 3 minutes.
TM blockhouse, do we gotta go?
So, fun fact, while we're here,
TM blockhouse, do I have a go?
they had an issue with this particular flight, and Shepard sat in this spot for 5
Stand by
hours.
one.
He sat there for 5 hours. He had to take a leak.
I gotta know, I'll have to hold it too.
Roger, I'm going to hold. 2 minutes 40 seconds in holding.
So, basically, they got to the point
TM
where
is go.
Roger, understand, TM is go. We have a momentary hold. Stoney, hold on with me until I give you the word. Stoney, Raj.
Holding here. I have not recycled at this time.
sorry, I don't want to talk over them. So, he had to take a leak, and long story short, he ended up just peeing in his spacesuit.
7, rating it loud and clear. Capcom over to Chase.
Chase 2.
TM blockhouse, what are your camera and tape recorders at this time?
They're on. What is that?
Okay, if you would like to, I'll get an estimate on this. How soon could you have them back on if I take them off?
All you have to do is give me the word. I've got one switch.
7, standby, Capcom. I'm still on box.
Yeah, the graphics in these are
Count,
inside the cockpit are amazing.
All Mercury stations,
panel,
we intend to
give me a
pick
line
up.
when you're ready
Just
to
keep your
send me
camera
out.
and tape recorders on. CO, did you verify you got a recorder light?
This is the CO I did.
Okay,
Okay.
ready to resume the count?
Roger, ready to resume the count. STE, I'm going to turn it over to Stoney, verify.
Resume the count.
Okay, Stoney, take it over. Roger.
5 seconds.
All right.
7, loud and clear, Stoney.
So the next mission we're going to do after this one, this will be very, very brief. We're actually going to do a sort of free fly mission with the Gemini capsule. There won't be any like audio like this that we'll be waiting on. I'll actually like do the pre-planning for that mission. We'll run it. I'll decide my own re-entry point, and that'll be in the Gemini. So that one's a lot of fun. It's way more challenging. This spacecraft is so simple compared to the Gemini. And I haven't even started the Apollo. There's
7, Roger.
the Apollo training program is complicated, dude. It is not easy. And then the pinnacle is you can actually do the moon lander and land on the moon. So that's the end of the game, basically. That's the high point. I hope they do a DLC later for the space shuttle program. That would be really cool. Yeah, man, Fearless Journey, you said it. That is exactly... I love free flight. When I can get to that point where I actually know the aircraft, that's where it's the most fun. And with the Gemini, I mean, you can do free flight with this capsule, but it's so limited. You just can't do the same things. The capabilities from the Mercury...
1 minute and going.
From the Mercury
Roger.
to the Gemini program are such a huge leap forward. And so... yeah, that one's far more interesting to do a proper free flight on.
45 at Conning. Mark.
All right, you guys ready? 40 seconds.
Roger.
So our job during liftoff is to monitor, watch the gauges, make sure everything's looking normal, make sure our clocks are running. That's about it. This entire flight is pre-programmed. Now, when we get to space, we are going to go manual, and we're actually going to look around before our retro attitude needs to be achieved, and we're going to come back. It's very brief, extremely brief.
9,
Here we go.
8, 7, 6, 5,
Let's get it.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, buddy.
Lift off.
All right, liftoff, and the clock has started.
You're on your way.
Yes, sir. Reading you loud and clear.
I'll tell you.
All right, so we're building G's.
This is Freedom 7. The fuel is go. 1.2 G. Cabin at 14 psi. Oxygen is go.
I understand. Protect the air, okay.
We are go. Looking good.
Freedom 7 is still go.
How's you looking good?
Fearless, yes it does. Yes it does.
This is 7. Fuel is go. 1.8 G. 8 psi cabin, and the oxygen is go.
Look at that thing.
How's you protect the air, okay.
Isn't that incredible? Yes, it does have random failures.
Cabin pressure is holding at 5.5.
And they
Cabin
suck.
holding at 5.5.
I can understand. Cabin holding at 5.5.
Fuel is go. 2.5 G. Cabin 5.5. Oxygen is go. The main bus is 24. And the isolated battery is 29.
Well, 3 to 5 to 5. Protect the air, okay.
Okay, it's a lot smoother now. A lot smoother.
Roger.
All right, so
7 here. Fuel is go. 4G. 5.5 cabin. Oxygen go. All systems are go.
so on the left here we have our sequence
All
lights,
systems go. Protect the air, okay.
and these
5G.
sequence lights are going to tell us what's happening in what order. So here
Cut off.
comes Jettison Tower. See, we got an orange light.
Tower jettison green.
There it goes. It's gone.
Roger now.
Okay, and we're going to turn off
Disarm.
the squibs. Here comes capsule separation.
Cap step is green. Periscope is coming out.
Scope
And
is
the
open.
turnaround has started.
Here comes the turnaround.
SCS is okay. Control movements.
So right now this is all automated. And there's our main booster.
Okay, switching to manual pitch.
All right, we're gonna take the stick.
As manual pitch. Pitch is okay. Switching to manual yaw.
34 degrees.
Yaw is okay. Switching manual roll.
Okay, so if you guys can see, I'm going to pause the mission really quick. If you guys can see, this is where it's really complicated. Because you have your pitch rates, you have your yaw rates, and you have your roll rates. And this little middle indicator here tells you how many degrees into that direction you're going. So there is a way to turn on the autopilot, but right now it's not so simple. Okay. So
On the periscope, what a beautiful view. Cloud cover over Florida, 3 to 4 tenths near the eastern coast. Obscures up through Hatteras. You can see Okeechobee. Identify Andros Island. Identify the reefs.
look at that. You imagine that view. Just amazing. So you can see if I give it a little stick, I'm just going to give stick back.
5, 4, 3, 2. Start retro sequence. In retro attitude, hard green.
There we go. Got to get in retro attitude. It's that fast. Here we go. And
Control is smooth.
Here we go. Retro attitude. Okay, that indicator tells us we're about to fire retro engines. Let's correct our roll. 0 the yaw, and we should fire now.
Retro 1.
There we go.
Very smooth. Retro 2. Retro 3. All 3 retros are fired.
Alright, we're going to dump off our retro engines.
Okay, 3 retros have fired.
Okay.
Retro jettison is back to arm.
The booster.
Negative. Switching fly-by-wire. Roger, do not have a light. I do not have a light. I see the straps falling away. I heard a noise. I will use override.
Where's our capsule?
Override used. The light is green. Oh, Roger. Periscope is retracting. I'm on fly-by-wire going to re-entry attitude. Okay, Buster, re-entry attitude.
Alright, we're pitching back. Re-entry attitude. Zero this thing out manually. Alright, we're already catching atmosphere.
Switching ASCS normal. ASCS is okay. Switching HF for radio check.
Freedom 7, Capcom, how do you read HF?
Roger, reading you loud and clear, HFT, copy.
Freedom 7, Capcom, how do you read Onset?
Reading you loud and clear, HF, how me?
Back to you, HF.
Okay, this is Freedom 7. G build up. 3, 6, 9.
Pulling a lot of G's right there.
Okay. Okay.
That sucker is a
Loud and
fireball.
clear.
Okay.
See the char happening on the cockpit window?
Okay.
Fearless, I'm using a...
This is 7, okay.
I'm using a HOTAS joystick and a... I have a throttle control. I've got something like 18 controls or buttons on these two, but I basically have a throttle and I have a joystick with, the HOTAS system. So I'm actually running a stick. Alright, so now we're in the portion of the flight where we are in free fall.
45,000 feet now.
And we should have an automatic drogue.
40,000 feet. I'm back on ASCS. 35,000.
Should have a drogue any second now.
$30,000 feet.
Capcom, how do you read now?
Roger, Deke, reading you loud and clear, how me?
Switched over to GDI.
Roger.
Yeah, Fearless, wait till we get to the Gemini here in just a minute. You're doing a lot more stick time in that aircraft than this one.
The drogue is green at 21. The periscope is out. The drogue is out.
All right.
Okay, a drogue deploy. I've got 70%. Auto, 90% manual. Oxygen is still okay.
Kevin. So, funny story. It does teach you how to circulate the suit for, using
And the
fans.
snorkel's at about 15,000 feet. Emergency flow rate is on.
Sorry, let me get my
Standing by for main.
stuff going here.
Main on green. Main chute is raced. Main chute is green. Main chute is coming unraced and it looks good. The main chute is good. Rate of descent is reading about 35 feet per second.
We gotta shoot. Yeah, it does tell you how to circulate the fans in the suit. For
Hello,
odor.
Capcom Freedom 7. How do you read?
That's right.
Hello, card file 23. This is Freedom 7. Do you read?
Freedom 7, this is Indian Capcom. Do you read me?
All right. So, that's pretty much the mission. It takes forever for this thing to actually float down these last 10,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and exit this mission, and then we're going to go to the Gemini. Yeah, really cool program though, right? So the Gemini, again, way more complicated. We'll see how bad I screw this up. Let's see, I want to do free play. We're going to start from the pad. So the thing with the Gemini program, or the Gemini spacecraft, is there's way more pilot input. Way more. There's a lot more systems to start up. There's a lot more stuff going on. When you get to space, you guys are going to see that, like, just the reentry alone is not automated. Like, these guys actually fly the thing back through the atmosphere. There's a way to sort of automate it, but anyway, so it's loading in the next Gemini program. But how cool is that historical audio? Isn't that awesome? All right. Still loading in here. Now, the way I do this, I actually end up using the chronograph on my watch for this mission, or for the way I free fly, because there's so many things you have to time. And I'll explain it here in just a minute, but let's go to the cockpit. Alright, so here is the Gemini cockpit. So this is a two-seater. And as you can see, we got a lot more going on here. A lot more. So it makes it more complicated, but it also makes it a lot more interesting. So let me go to the middle here and just pause. So basically we do have sort of the same basics. You've got suit and cabin environment. You've got your O2. You've got your propellant, which is a big one because we're going to do a lot more flying on this mission. So you got to watch your propellant. We got a mission timer. You got a lot more controls down here about how the aircraft behaves. Then you've got some really complex inputs here where basically you can give the spacecraft commands, numerical commands, and it'll talk back to you with numeric responses, and that's what this readout is. So, very cool ship, but we got a big startup here. So I'm going to jump right into this. Full internal power on this guy takes a minute. And I'm technically doing it for both seats, so right now I'm getting our power going. So you can see our batteries come to life right there. Okay, and we've got pre-flight. So basically our, I think it was our T-minus 15 is basically just getting power on. Now we're actually going to start turning on the systems. So, get our computer fired up. Now this is kind of cool. If you watch this, when we turn on this computer, it's going to start running through a scan of itself. And that little readout is how you communicate with the computer and how it communicates with you. Very, very cool stuff. Now, you know, you might think, well, don't you have all these switches memorized? Why do you need a checklist? Let me tell you something. The astronauts use the frickin' checklist because this stuff has to be done in order most of the time. It's not something that you can just do willy-nilly. Alright, we did that. So that button there, basically the computer is, we've told it what it's supposed to do, now we're saying go do it. And it's going to start initializing. You can see our FDAIs are calibrating. Okay. Computer mode, we're putting it on Ascension. And we're going to go to Rate Command. And these controls here are basically telling, we're opening the valves for the propellant. Alright, so 7-2. And radio check is good. Yeah, man, I don't do... I mean, I even got a buddy of mine, I was talking to him about this game, and he got it too. He's stoked about it. But he's an actual pilot, and he said the same thing. He's like, I don't ever deviate from my checklists. Alright, so ascent, we're pretty much ready now. So we got that. We've already done a lot of these. Some of these are redundant. Stow. Okay, so we're going to go right past Seco. And we're ready to go. Okay, so we got our computer configured. We got our mission timer is on start. So these guys here, basically we have two engine sections. We got engine 1, and that is this thing here. So basically that's our fuel level for those engines. Once those exhaust themselves and get us sort of out of the atmosphere, it's going to pop off automatically. Then it's going to switch to engine 2. And that's going to push us into orbit trajectory and speed. And once that's exhausted, we actually have to manually separate that, and that's where the flight really begins. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward. Let me just do one more check here. Make sure I got everything. Oh, by the way, check this out. Bulova Accutron gauges. How cool is that? Alright, so radio frequency's right. Got our valves open. I think we're ready. Alright, so I'm going to fast forward to the last 15 seconds here. And here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff.
Look at that sucker go.
Roger, talk to it.
Alright. We have mission timer started. Temperatures look good.
Yes, that's right. We got a roll program. Roger, roll.
Yeah, roll program is happening on time. Fuel propellant is dropping as it should.
Roger, pitch program.
Altimeter is climbing. That's good. So the last time I did a free flight, my altimeter broke. And so that was like really difficult to work through. So I'll be honest, the way they throw failures in free flight, it does a good job of making you just crap your shorts just a little bit.
50 seconds, you're looking good, 8.
Alright, we're looking good, man. It's like textbook right now. Alright, we're about halfway through our propellant for our first stage. We're definitely rolling over. We're at about 30 degrees right now. Look at our ascension rate. Look at that altimeter. It's like 1,000 feet in probably less than a second. We are screaming upward right now. There we go. Alright, so this first separation on stage 1 is going to happen pretty fast, and then it's going to roll us over into our orbital trajectory and attitude. And right now, this is all still automated. All I'm doing is monitoring, making sure everything's happening as it's supposed to. Alright, so here comes first separation. And mark. Should happen right now. Oh, it's a little late. There it goes.
Roger, staging.
Okay. There it goes. You can see now it's rolling us over to the horizon. Isn't this awesome? It's just amazing these guys did this, man. They're such pioneers. So you can see now we're in our orbital burn. And this is just getting us up to speed, getting our trajectory for orbit on. So what we did with the last one was really just a low Earth orbit. It wasn't technically, you know, getting out of the atmosphere and all that with the Mercury, but with this Gemini, we're actually doing a full fat orbit. And my plan for this flight is we're just going to orbit one time around the Earth. The way it sets it up, you know, sort of stock standard is you have a 5-hour orbit, which is about 6 orbits, I think, 7 orbits. We're not going to do that. That's there's no reason to go that long. So once we get in our stable orbit, we're going to configure the spacecraft. We're gonna, you know, re-zero everything, set up our flight plan, and then of course we're gonna play around a little bit, fly around, which is always a lot of fun. Tell we're getting near the end because it's going to start nosing us down. It's actually going to dip us below 0. You can see there. So it's going to level us off, and then we're going to get real close here to stage 2 separation. There's the little turn. Yeah, the last time I did free flight, I accidentally... oh, there we go. Alright, we're at Seco, so now we're going to separate stage 2, and it's gone. There we go. Good. Okay. Jettison the fairing. Good. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can walk about the cabin. So, what we're going to do now is we need to first zero out everything. So right now, we're kind of in autopilot, essentially. And you can see our gauge, you know, right now we're lined up with the horizon, but our gauges are not. So we've got to re-zero everything. There's almost like, it seems, I could be wrong here, but it seems like there's like a sort of setup for takeoff, and then you've got to re-zero everything and almost recalibrate the instruments for your general orbit. So we're going to go over to cage, catch up, rate command, Acme A is on. Let's turn some lights on here. can't see a freaking thing in here right now. There we go. Okay. So, now you see, I uncaged our gauge there. Now let's see if it stuck. Sharp end forward. No, it did not. Alright, so we're going to uncage it. Alright. Alright, I'm going to let that computer load for just a second. I mean, I have a green light, but it's not responding. So I'm going to go ahead and get our guys cooled off, because right now, if you look at our temperatures, my guys' suits are 86 degrees, and the cabin temp is like up in the hundreds, so we're way too hot right now. See that gauge there coming down. All right, that's much better. Do one more down on the suit there. Yeah, 70 degrees. Got about 85 degrees. Cabin, that's totally doable. Yeah, this game has some work to do graphically, because it looks like a corpse sitting beside me. Like, inside the cockpit is the graphic detail is really nice, but like it suffers a little bit outside. You can see those clouds look like ice-capped mountains. So graphically the game's got some improving to do. Okay, so we should be zeroed now. Yeah, we're zeroed. See how that's way more accurate. So now that we're zeroed, I'm going to tell the computer. So right now, your attitude control, you got a bunch of different modes here. And let me just nerd out for a minute and explain to you guys why this thing is not like flying an aircraft, okay? So I'm going to go to direct mode. And basically the way this works is right now I'm on the stick. And right here is my attitude indicator. So I'm just going to give it some left roll, okay? So, boom. I just gave it some left roll. Now that input is just going to keep me going, okay? That's not like an aircraft. When you give input, air reacts differently. Gravity reacts differently. Well, we have no air and we have no gravity. So, you know, as you can see, that input has to be corrected. And this gets more complicated if I input yaw and pitch and forward and aft movement. If I do anything, even just correcting to 0 is almost impossible. It's very difficult. So you see we're coming back up on 0 here. There's the horizon. So I'm going to reverse that input. So I'm going to go a little left yaw. I want to center up in that cross there. But see now, see what I did? I've got too many movements going. It's sort of like pushing a little boat in a pool. You shove it and it just keeps going, right? So, I hate that mode. It's a little bit too free. So what I do is what's called rate command. And what rate command does is if I give a little right stick, a little right roll, and then I let go, it levels off and zeroes out. It nulls out my input. See that? So this makes the spacecraft way more like logical to me to fly. Now I'm going to cheat and I'm going to put on my attitude data so I can see, because I like to be really precise when I zero these out. Yeah, so I want to be as close to 0 as I can, which that right there is about as good as it gets. And that matches with the horizon. Now I'm going to go to platform. And essentially what this is going to do is that's just going to keep me at 0 where I'm at. Now, you also have other attitude adjustments here. So right now we are in SEF mode, or sharp end forward, which is a little bit funny. And you also have blunt end forward. So if I go to blunt end forward, which why don't we just go ahead and do that? You can see the aircraft or spacecraft is now, it's going to spin us around backwards, blunt end forward, just like it sounds. Now, why would you do this? Well, for re-entry, you go in backwards. So when you're prepping for re-entry attitude, you want blunt end forward, and you can tell the computer to hold you there, which is pretty cool. You can see once it finds the correct yaw, 180 degrees, it'll stop us right there. So you can see there's a big leap forward with control surfaces on the Gemini spacecraft. Alright, so now let me just run through some systems here. So we got our climate is looking good. Let's go to our propellant. So that gauge is reading. We're also going to go ahead and zero out this clock. So we have several clocks in the spacecraft. There's a lot of things we're going to have to time when it comes to re-entry. So I got to zero this out. I'm going to need this later. Alright, now we're going to have that count down. I'm going to set this for, say, 14 minutes. I'll say 15. Alright, so that clock is ready. Alright, so now what we're going to do is decide our flight path. What's going on with our freaking attitude, man? Yeah, the computer doesn't really care if you're, like, rocked out to the side. It's like, we're pointing the right way, you know. Alright. I'm just going to go ahead and pitch down, just so we can see a little bit of the Earth here. Alright, and I'm actually, so one thing you kind of want to consider is, you know, right now we're just in a general orbit. And so what I want to do is I don't want to keep it in platform mode because it's going to keep making corrections and we're just burning propellant for no reason. So I'm just going to let us drift. I zeroed us out pretty good. And if that moves, it's going to move. Then we'll let it. So right now what I want to do is we need to set up our retro burn planner here. So right now we are right there. You can see our little capsule indicator. We've gone pretty far. So basically right now what we're doing is we're deciding when the computer is going to fire the retro boosters. And now it's just going to fire them. So if your attitude, if you're not pointed the right direction, if you're not ready, it's just going to go. So that's why it's really important to sort of be prepped and everything. But we're going to do a retro burn an hour and I think 26 minutes. So you can see that blue circle is our approximate location where we're gonna plop. If I just move it back 1 minute, you can see how it affects where we're gonna go. So I like that. That's where I want to be. That's one full orbit, and then we're gonna basically over here. Looks like when we get just off the coast of California or Mexico, actually, we're going to start our reentry. And reentry takes a bit. It takes a minute, so I'm happy with that. Flight. Okay. But now that we're here, let's have a look where we are. So it looks like we're about to come over some land here. We're also about to come over into some darkness. So we'll take a look at what this looks like. So this is the cool part, man. And these astronauts, they had a blast up there. I mean, I believe on this Gemini flight, they did, it was a 5-hour flight. One of the big ones that they did where they were actually in orbit for quite a while. And they used up so much propellant. Those guys were flying all over the place. And you can see, you can just simply yaw and look around. Super cool, right? It's got to be a weird feeling, especially if I pitch down to like 90 degrees. That's just got to feel weird. You got to feel like you're going to fall out of the spacecraft. Pretty cool, man. Now, what's also cool is right now we're on a pretty flat orbit. You can change your orbital trajectory. That's really complicated, actually. To basically move our trajectory from here to like up here, or even just change direction, it's very complicated. You got to really communicate with the computers at a pretty high level to help them understand what you're trying to do and not screw it up. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set up our flight plan here. Yeah, we're going to skip pretty quickly to our re-entry. So right now I'm going to ask the computer a question, which is code 19, and say readout. And what I'm asking it is how long until you're going to fire the engines. It's telling me 64 minutes and 53 seconds. So we've got an hour. Now we're going to skip ahead. I'm not going to make you guys sit through an hour of this. Okay, so we're only 20 minutes into the mission. Okay. So we're going to skip pretty hard here. So you can see we are screaming right now. Actually, I do kind of want to see this. Just want to see some lights from space. How about that? Yeah, our attitude's all jacked up. Let's get back to 0, y'all, here. Look at that, huh? Pretty amazing. Love it. Alright, we're going to skip ahead, and this is going to happen pretty quickly. Let's get us back to 0. Okay, so we're at the point, we're about to cross over the horizon here. And this is where we're going to start doing some configuring. Let's get us into the right attitude. Alright, so we got to talk to the computer again. So it's telling us, holy crap, 13 minutes. I skipped way too far ahead. Whoa, we're about to do some pretty freaking rapid checklist right now, dudes. That is not what I wanted to have happen. Oh, jeez. Alright, so 8. What do we have? 12. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start our checklists. Man, I can't believe I did that. Let's see, readout 9. Okay, so we got to start our timer on the other side. 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that this timer is coordinated with the computer's timer. So 11:51 against. Okay, so we're only about 3 seconds off. This is totally doable. Basically, what I'm trying to make sure is that I'm staying on top of my checklists, and we're not going to get caught when that retro fires. I don't usually do checklists this quickly, but we're just going to roll. Okay, did that. Reentry. Okay, we got a green light. Good. Can't believe I did that, man. Okay, so right now we are blunt end forward. Remember, we're going in backwards. And essentially what's going to happen here, I'll just show you. Basically, the retro jets are going to fire this way and slow us down. And we're also going to be pointing down at about 20 degrees into the Earth. So we're not only going to be slowing down, but we're going to be pushing down to a speed where gravity is going to slowly start to pull us in. So that is the name of the game right there. Okay, so we got 10 minutes. Which that matches our retros at 1 hour and 25 minutes on mission time, so 10 minutes, God bless it. Alright. Okay, we're doing some things a little early here because I don't have a lot of time. Continuous calm attitude. Command mode is rate command reentry. I'm not going to turn that off, so skip. Okay. Turn that. 8 minutes. Okay. Why is my stick not responding? Read command. Okay. Got to get us into Reentry attitude here pretty freaking quick. Going 20 degrees. 20 degrees, nose down. Now, right now, the computer is going to kind of be weird. It's not going to do a whole lot. Right now, I'm kind of in control, but when it starts to pick up atmosphere and resistance, it's going to take over in a pretty big way. So when I push this button, basically I'm telling it, you know, I want you to take over when it's time. So that's green light. We're good there. RCS, good. So we're turning off environmental systems. Those are good. Temps are holding, so that's positive. Oh man, we're so close. Alright, so what's our time? We've got 7 minutes before retro fire. Okay. Fearless, if you're still watching, have you ever had something like this happen where you're kind of in a crunch to get everything prepped before landing? I imagine you got to be sweating bullets if that's happened to you. Alright, so 256 second, 1 minute to retro list. Something coming up here that I'm going to have to do. So right now this timer is helping me count down and pay attention to our retro fire timing. But because I know the time, it's 1 hour and 25 minutes, I can kind of switch to this here in a minute. And 5:50. Yeah, we're like 3 seconds difference. So I just need to know within a few seconds when the retros are going to fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reconfigure this timer while I have time. And we're actually, right now, it was counting down. I'm actually going to reconfigure it to count up. Because what's going to happen when we go into retro sequence is there's certain things that need to happen after the retros have fired, and they have to happen right on time, and this is pretty critical stuff, so that one's going to be on standby. And our yaw keeps drifting for some reason. Quite a lot, actually. Okay. Oh yeah, I can imagine, man. I can imagine. Alright, so we are at 120, which should be 4 minutes 40. Yep, 4:38 on the money. Good. And the reason I'm checking this is I'm making sure that the computer is still tracking with me on what's going on. So it's still telling me consistent information. Alright, so when we get down to, I don't like to get that close at 1 minute, so when we get down to about maybe in the next 30 seconds, we're going to go ahead and separate our adapter, which is basically this back of this cone right here. That's what adapted the ship to the boosters on liftoff. So we're going to separate from that in just a minute. The checklists tell you to do that at 1 minute from retro. That's really close for me. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. So disconnected the lines from that adapter. We're going to disconnect the electrical and adapter separation. Clean. All right. So screwed up our attitude just a little bit. Back on the stick. All right, what's our time? Should be right at 3 mics. On the money, 3 minutes. Okay. So 3 minutes out. We're not going to arm the retros just yet. But I am going to go ahead and turn it on there. So that way all I have to do is remove the safety and push the arm. Alright, I think we're configured, man. We're on reentry mode, blunt end forward. Our valves are open. Power's looking good. 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Okay, so in this last 60 seconds, I'm just going to explain really quickly what's going to happen here. So the retros are going to fire, and you can see our attitude relative to the Earth. We're going backwards and we're pointing down. So we're going to push down, and then we're going to slow our speed, which is going to cause gravity to pull us in. And what's going to happen is the air is, when we start to catch atmosphere, is going to come up, hit the ship, and deflect upward, which is going to give us downward, whatever the opposite of lift is. So it's going to actually push us down. But what's going to happen is once we start to press through the atmosphere, we're going to build G's. And so then what we're going to have to do is flip the ship over upside down to then deflect air downward, which is going to reduce our speed going into the atmosphere and reduce G's so we don't pass out. And this is where I said earlier that there was a lot more piloting with the Gemini. 1 minute, 10 seconds. We're going to go ahead and arm. Retros are armed. There was a lot more piloting with this program because you are physically flying the aircraft through the atmosphere and changing how quickly it's going through the atmosphere. Now here's the thing. If you just roll it over upside down and go really slow, you're going to spend too much time in that in-between spot, and you're going to burn the ship up. And so you do have to balance 35 seconds. You do have to balance between speed through the atmosphere so you don't burn up and G's. So let's do one more readout. 23 seconds. Got the backup armed. As soon as these fire, I'm going to click this standby button and start our timer so we can time reentry. Should be any second. Our pitch is good. Here we go. Start. We are firing. Correct our roll just a little bit. Pitch is good. Good. Retro's all fired. Okay, so now we have successfully fired retros. Our speed has been slowed, and we're going to start getting pulled into Earth. So we got more work to do here. So at 30 seconds, we passed that. Good. Okay, at 45 seconds, there's our light. We're going to jettison our retro engines. There they go. Okay. And post-retro list start. right now we're disarming all of the squib fuses. And the squibs are little explosives that separate the capsule from each other. And the reason we're doing that is, let's say one didn't fire, but the capsule separated. We think everything's good. If it's still got power to it, it could suddenly fire off and just blow a chunk of the ship off. So basically, we're taking power off of the squib system so that if there's one that didn't pop, we're not going to get a surprise on reentry. The arms are indeed retroed. Okay, so we're looking really good. We held attitude remarkably well through that retro. I mean, within half a degree is very, very okay. So we're looking real good right now. Okay, so right now we're at 2 minutes and 53 seconds since our retro fire. What's going to start to happen is right at about 14 minutes. That's when we're going to start to get really intense. And then at 14 minutes and 30 seconds, as long as our pitch was good during retro fire, all the math should add up to where at 14 minutes and 30 seconds, we're going to roll this sucker over upside down. And we're going to really pay attention to the G meter right here. We want to stay away from 9 Gs because that's a lot. So, there we go. Yeah, so basically this checklist is just telling us what to do. At 14:30, we're going to roll. And then it should be at 19 plus. We should be through the atmosphere. So we're just going to pay attention to our clock. So far, everything's looking good. Attitudes are good. Power's good. Checklists are done. Temps are good. I like it. So right now, I think we're crossing over Mexico, California, the border. Once we get right over the top of Florida, we should start to roll over. That's about the time frame. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. Let me look at the chat here, see what you guys are saying. Kevin, ribs are wrapped in foil, commencing cooking at 200, then glaze begins. You're running your own checklist, and yours is way more interesting. That sounds amazing. Let's see. Fearless Journey, he said, man, there's a ton more to monitor than an aircraft. Man, that's interesting to hear. I mean, look, I guess there would be, because, you know, you're monitoring things like, you know, look, I'm keeping my attitude at a certain, you know, specified attitude. Okay, that's probably the same as an aircraft. With an aircraft, you're probably monitoring, you know, waypoints. You're probably monitoring fuel, weather, communications. Once you start to get close, you know, your airspeed, your trajectory. I'm totally guessing here. And I guess all that is the same in this thing, but you also have to monitor temp of your suit, the cabin, your O2, the cabin pressure, your propellant, because it goes quickly when you start using it. You have to monitor the power systems because, like, here's what's kind of interesting. We have time to talk about this. On this dial right here, you have a bunch of battery banks. And the reason you have all these battery banks is because these batteries just fail. And so, like, if I was not getting the right voltage right here, I got to change to a different battery or we're not going to make it through reentry. You're also talking to the computer, making sure it understands what we're doing. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and it's actually, I mean, it's kind of simple in a way, but it is a lot. There's a lot going on for sure. Of course, you got radio communications. Yeah. And just so you guys know, I'm still like basically a novice at this because there's even more complicated systems with this aircraft where essentially, let's say that I wanted to change my trajectory and I wanted to go more of like diagonally over the Earth. You can do that. You can do forward and aft burns. And yeah, so we're starting to grab some atmosphere right now. Starting to mess with my attitude. So you can change trajectories, but it's really complicated because what you have to do is communicate with the ground, with mission command, and you have to request a burn. And then what they're going to do is they're going to give you a bunch of data that you then have to punch into the computer, and it takes about 20 minutes to feed all of that information into the computer. And basically what you're telling the computer is, hey, we're going to do this at this time for this long, at this roll rate, at this pitch rate, at this yaw rate, and, you know, I want you to fire at this time, but if I'm not set up and lined up with the parameters I just gave you, don't fire. And it's very complicated. I've done it once, and it's not any fun, I'm going to be honest with you. So Fearless, he said, things happen much faster than when you are in an aircraft, and much less forgivable of errors and timing. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, this happened a little bit fast because I fast forwarded a little bit too far in my mission time. But you're right, it does happen quite quickly, and there's a lot of systems to configure to make things happen. Alright, let's check our attitude. We're getting a little bit of drift here. Okay, so just a reminder what's happening right now. Right now we're catching atmosphere, okay? So if I just hold the spacecraft like this, what's happening is air is coming up and hitting this bell on the bottom and then deflecting up. So we're being thrust down into the Earth. But when we really start to get intense, we're going to roll over to where this angle is not 20 degrees down, but 20 degrees up. And so that's actually going to reduce how quickly we're falling into the Earth, but it's also going to cause us to heat up. But we have to do that to reduce the G's on the pilot and on the aircraft. So, because this thing will catch, 15 G's in a big fat hurry. So, you really have to watch that. Okay, so right now, you guys can see that shaking begin. And you see my jets firing on the nose of the aircraft. So what's happening is the rate command system has taken over, and it's sensing atmosphere. And it's going to do its best to hold us at 0 roll, 0 yaw, and 20-degree pitch. Because to do this by hand is going to just take a lot of input. So right now we're deflecting down pretty nicely. We don't really have any G's building just yet, but it's going to happen quickly. Everything still looks really good, man. Okay, we're crossing over Florida right now. There we are. There's Florida. I live up in this area right there. And this is where we started. One full orbit. Okay, now in just a few minutes, we're going to start really heating up. We're going to start piercing through that atmosphere. But right now, we're just barely touching it. And it's pulling us down. It's a little hard to perceive, but you can actually see us getting pulled down. Our altimeter has not yet started turning. So we're dropping. Actually, we do... Nope. We don't have any descent being picked up yet. But it's going to happen very quickly. It's like all of a sudden, all the gauges are going to start reacting very quickly. So, in the next 40 seconds, we should... If we did everything right, we should catch G's within the next minute. And it's going to start to... intensify. Okay, I see G's. You see them just starting right there, just a little bit. That's a good sign. That means we're creeping up on the atmosphere. Yeah, there goes. 1G. Right on time, 14 minutes. So in 30 seconds, we're going to be rolling over. Still about 1G, 1.5 Gs. Nothing big right now. Oh yeah, look at there. We got fire, baby. We're in it now. All right, 14:30. We're going to start building Gs pretty quickly now. There, we're at 3 Gs. Now, I don't want to roll over too quickly because I need to get through this atmosphere really quickly. We're at 4 Gs. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll 5. Full roll. And level off, level off, level off. This is full stick right now. Woo! Way too many G's right now. Way too many G's. Way too many G's. We're at 10 G's. Right now our guy is doing everything he can not to pass out. Alright, G's are coming back down. We're going to hold this position. Alright, our descent meter just started. Our altimeter should start throwing numbers here pretty rapidly. So right now we're upside down. We are, I'll give you an outside view. See, now the air is coming and it's hitting us and it's going downward. So we're actually slowing our descent. But looking at my temperature, we need to roll back over and speed up this descent because we're going to overheat. So we're going to roll back over. You can see our descent changed. We are... Ooh, I'm having trouble keeping this thing centered. We are moving a lot. Okay. We're doing good right now. Oop, too many G's, too many G's. Here we go. Roll, baby. Oh my gosh. This thing is like going everywhere right now. Alright, we're good. We're holding it like 4G, so I'm going to go ahead and put us full descent, and that meter on the left should roll over pretty hard. We're looking good. We're holding it 4Gs. I think we're done rolling it over. Looking good. Oh, there we go. Okay. We made it through. Yep, blue sky. Okay, so now we're going to watch out for this light, our 40,000 foot light. There it is. Okay, so landing. Boom. We got to get our drogue chute open in a big fat hurry, so we're going to go ahead and pop the drogue chute. Now that's going to snatch our nose up. There we go. So we're pointing straight up in the sky. Now what we're going to do is turn off our attitude controls because we do not need those. I'm going to turn on our high flow O2. Okay, so we're dropping steady. So what we're looking for now is once we cross 10,500 feet, we're going to deploy the main chute and start a pretty rapid shutdown of the control systems. Once we get that red light right there. Right now we're just kind of in free fall. That drogue chute up there, all that's doing is putting us in the right position for main chute deployment. Yeah, Fearless, I see what you said, man. 14 hours, full acrobatics. Yeah, I can't imagine being in anywhere near 10 Gs. I can't fit in my mind what that's like. We should be... Yeah, we're coming up on 10,000 right now. So we're at 40, 30, 20. That main and little indicator right there should be it. So we're at 10.2. We should get a light here. There's our light. Main chute deployed. We got a good chute. There we go. Now, what this button does right here is we're actually not going to land like this, like previous space programs did. They actually developed this thing where it's actually going to throw the aircraft over in almost like flying attitude. So check this out. Boom. That's kind of cool. So see, it's actually going to land like it flies. So we can stow that. And we're going to start shutting off systems pretty quick here. Oh, I bet, man. I bet your focus has got to be just so switched on. All right, we're at 6,500 feet. And we're going to go ahead and get ready for that impact. I'm going to speed up our time just a little bit. So, what'd you guys think of this, man? Pretty cool sim, huh? Very detailed. Gave me a good appreciation for the space program. And I still, like I said, I still have not yet done the Apollo training, which is a whole nother animal. All right, here comes impact. Bloom. All right, we're going to jettison our parachute and shut this boy down. You can see you got the floaties. And there comes the ship to get us. And I'd have to... I just can't imagine what it's like, too, just physiologically, to go to space like this, and you're in zero gravity, and not only do you come back to full-blown gravity, but you're pulling all these Gs, and then not only do you pull all these Gs, now you're floating in a tiny little capsule in the ocean. Man, I just feel like I'd be vomiting everywhere. That. Yeah, I have so much respect for the guys who design these aircraft too, man. All the sequences I'm doing right now and the order, it's just years of failure and knowledge, and just the level of skill it takes to do all this is something else. All right, and there we go. That is the Gemini spacecraft. Pretty cool, right? Love it, man. Love it. Charles, I believe I have the grip safety figured out. That's good. That's good. Yeah, when you were talking to me earlier, my mind actually went to grip safety first, because I have had that happen where I was holding it was actually my Springfield, and the grip safety was stuck, and when I let go and I racked the slide, and I wasn't even touching the trigger, but because the grip safety was stuck and it was keeping the trigger pulled almost, the hammer followed, and I started going through all the crazy scenarios, and then I just kind of realized, like, oh no, it's just the grip safety. So yeah, that is it. Fearless said I was gonna bin up a bunch of gun parts tonight, but I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. That's awesome. Yeah, it's cool to have a pilot here too. I feel like you of all people can, appreciate it. It's an amazing simulator, man. And I've just got to the point. What you just saw is everything I know. Where it's like, I know how to fly the spacecraft. I know the systems. I know how to take off. I know how to get us back to Earth. But, man, like docking, haven't even done the class on that yet. And here, I'll just show you guys. This is what the screen looks like. So you go to Academy. So here, Academy. And you go to Project Mercury, and you got all these lessons, and they're about 45 minutes to an hour apiece. And then you go to Gemini, and you got even more lessons. And by the way, this isn't even all of them. Because you go to Missions, Gemini, and Scenarios, and these are all more training. So, man, there's just a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, and it's not easy. And, of course, some of these spacecraft are even more complicated because, like, the one I just flew, there's technically two guys. One of them is handling one side of the aircraft, and the other is, like, the pilot. I was just doing both. So there's a lot going on. Let's see here. I'm glad it was a great time for you there, Fearless. That's awesome, man. Let's see. Zach, what's up, buddy? Any more plans for more OPT gaming? Yeah. I mean, look, I would do this like consistently every week if there was really good turnout. I mean, this is good turnout. The fact that the couple of you guys are here, this is fine for me. I just stopped doing it for a while because literally 0 people came, and it was just like, okay, well, I just won't stream. I'll just do it by myself. So, yeah, I would. There's so many games, man, especially like DayZ. That's a big one. Love DayZ. One that I haven't done on stream yet is Ready or Not, which is a newer game, and it's actually really good. So, yeah, I would like to do that. So, let's see. Is there a Challenger simulation? That's brutal. Now, here's what's funny. I was playing this last week, and I was still learning Gemini, and basically I accidentally ejected during takeoff. And I don't mean like, because you have the capsule, and then you have on top of it what's called the tower. And the tower's job is basically, if there's a problem during liftoff, it's like the whole capsule shoots off the top, and that tower has little rockets on it that pulls the spacecraft up and away from the main rocket, and you parachute back down to Earth safely. What I did is I full-blown ejected out of the capsule on accident. And I was like, why is my guy floating in the air with no parachute? Why am I in the ocean? Like it, yeah. Didn't know you could do that, but you can. You certainly can. No, I wish they would do a DLC on this game for the shuttle program. I mean, the bones are there. Like, again, I'll show you guys. So, like, you go to Academy, and you have Mercury, which is the earliest program, the Gemini, which is what we just did. And then you have Apollo. I have not even started these yet, and look how many there are. The Apollo is very complicated. And then once you get through that, you got the lunar module. And oh man, let me tell you, I am excited about this. It's going to take me a long time to get to that, but I'm really excited about the Apollo program. Charles, I think a Red Dead online group stream would be fun. Dude, let's do it. I've got Red Dead. Here's the thing. I've been wanting to do stuff like that. It's just hard to find guys who like want to do it too. I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's tough to find guys who want to Roger up and just show up and play. Yeah, Fearless. There's this simulator tonight, what you guys saw me do, we flew one short mission with Mercury. And we flew a very short single orbit and reentry mission with Gemini. That's a cumulative result of a month of training. It's not easy. It's not easy. And this is still probably dumbed down, but there's some stuff where it's like changing trajectory. If I want to change my orbit to start doing that, it's so complicated, man. It's so complicated. And it just gives me more respect for, like, if you remember Apollo 13, they had to do a manual burn. And, you know, basically what they had to do is using the LEM's little triangular window, they just had to use the Earth and shoot themselves at the Earth in full afterburner. And man, that's so hard to do, because again, it's not like an aircraft where when you're flying, you make a little correction and the aircraft just kind of does that. You make a correction and it just keeps going until you correct back the other way. And I believe it was Jim Lovell who, you know, he's flying this thing, and they did a manual burn. He manually corrected that thing on the right trajectory to get them ready for re-entry. And, but to get there, if you watch the movie Apollo 13, you see how they're physically writing down arithmetic and doing calculations manually to figure this out. It's like, it's wild. It's wild. Hey man, listen, Charles, let's do it. Even if it's just me and you, let's do a Red Dead stream. That would be fun. You know, I love Red Dead, man. What a great game that is. Great game. My guy on my computer profile is not super high level. Now, my Xbox character is like, I think a level 118. I've been playing that one for a long time. I actually only had this for like 8 months. So I think my guy's only like a level 30 something. But it's just a fun game, man. It's shooting a bunch of single action armies and lever guns. What's not to like? Yeah, Fearless. It's look, I've never been super good at that kind of math. And so for me, like, the game here, the simulator, tries to teach you that a little bit and like get you to think like that and do things the way they did it. And there's a little button that says auto calculate, and I'm like, let's just do that. I can't do this crap, man. It's a little bit difficult, but well, fellas, thank you guys for being here. Short stream. Started at 8:30, about 2 hours. Not bad. Yeah, I'm glad you guys were here and enjoyed this with me. It's a really fun game, and I've been wanting to share it with my followers here, and I'm glad I got to do it. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Probably won't do this one again on stream. That's kind of until I learn more ships. This is kind of all I can do is just what I just did. But some other games, again, Ready or Not. I think that's going to be a fun one. Really fun one. It's like, you know, tactical, cool guy stuff, but it's really fun. So, all right. Well, thank you, fellas, for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you on the next one. See you guys.